So this is a tangent question. Is the type of R&B music that Robert made and the type of R&B music Stevie made, can they be considered the same?
Um,
Because I
you
don't
talk,
really classify them in the same way. And I don't know how to say other than like Robert is like the king of like 90s R&B music. And since
mhm.
that's our era, that's why he's the top. You really can't, I think it's like an apples and oranges comparison to compare Robert or anybody from our generation to Stevie and Luther and those type of guys.
Yeah. I would say Luther is a closer to R. Kelly than Stevie because only I say that because Stevie came up in a totally different generation. Like
Yeah,
his R&B was completely different from what
right.
we listen to now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
His was somewhat avant-garde too, because like he was Motown, but Motown was still what I consider kind of like bubblegum love music.
Hmm.
Stevie was more of the musicality and deeper lyrics um than the artists around his time. So I think that's why he stood out so much. But anyway, this is a
Yeah.
tangent. So okay. So all of that plays into like the interest that your partner shows in you, right?
Hmm.
So it made me think about a conversation I was having. And you get into a relationship, time goes by. As we get older, we change in personalities, we change in opinions, but we also change in how we look. Some of us get older, some of us gain weight. Sometimes sickness plays a part in how a person's look changes. Have you ever been in a relationship where your partner's look, whether they've let themselves go or life just happened, changed how you feel about them?
No. Um, no, I can't say it not definitely not looks. No.
Not looks.
I haven't experienced that. Um, I don't know if I've been with somebody long enough
Like,
to
what's your
witness
longest relationship? Maybe that's what I was going to ask. What's your longest relationship?
uh longest relationship. It's hard to say because we kind of don't really know when our relationship started, which
Oh,
is kind of
Lord.
weird. Because we started off as friends with benefits and then it kind of morphed into an actual relationship.
That
But
actually
I
works. That actually
say that
works.
again.
That
Yeah.
actually works.
Hmm.
Okay.
It worked with he and I because of the. I mean, I won't say that works for everybody, but I think it works for people who want it or different things in life where you are, you know, stuff like that.
Normally, with the friends with benefits, the sex is good, right? You agree?
Hmm. It should be.
If you're going to be a friend with benefit, right?
Right, right.
Did the sex become better after y'all decided, we're going to be exclusive, or did it stay the same, or did it get worse?
It was the same. Well, this is why I
So I'm
always
assuming you're
say,
going to do it more often when you're in a relationship, and when you do it more
yeah.
often, the kind of newness, the exclusivity, or whatever. I'm not even using the right terminology, but the the damn, what kind of word? What's the word I'm looking for, Tay?
The newness wears off. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, the newness, but that's not really what I'm trying to say. When you do
Okay.
it more often, then it becomes more routine. That's what I should say.
Oh, mundane.
So it loses some of its shine.
Yeah, yeah. No, the sex was always good. My I keep saying my issue is when y'all don't have to wear condoms anymore. The sex gets shorter and shorter. The length of time. I'm just
Ladies,
saying.
ladies, ladies, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a humble brag.
No, 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 no.
Tay's talking about with me, it's going to end quick,
No, no.
Okay.
No, because I don't always believe that's necessarily true. But I just think
With the
that's
right one, it is. Yeah.
okay, maybe. But I don't look at it as a humble brag. But I still feel like the condoms make it make it better because it lasts longer. But all women don't need it to last longer. Again, I'm just greedy.
That's like somebody saying like a penitentiary visit behind the glass is better than being able to touch your family that's locked up. It don't make no sense. But go ahead.
Whatever. So he was my longest, uh if especially if I include the friends with benefits years, he was the longest situation. So he was the person that I saw change the most, but he didn't change enough for me not to find him attractive.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gained a little weight, but it wasn't enough to, to make a difference.
I've been on the receiving end of that conversation. Um, and it definitely hurts your feelings, but I can be honest and say that it was necessary. It was necessary. I've always been a big dude. So when somebody gets with me, you kind of know what you're getting, right? But
Hmm.
you can go from being a big dude who's handling himself like dressed well and, carrying himself well to like somebody who's out of control. And with depression and grief, I can admit I got to a point where I was out of control. And, it does take its toll. I mean, I've been with chicks and now I can be a little picky at times, right?
Hmm.
They knows this. I've been with chicks and they changed their hairstyle. And I was like, oh, I ain't really. And that's not cool. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
say that that's not cool at all, right? But it's just me. If I get with you and you got like a certain swag or whatever, I kind of need you to rock with that swag.
Okay. I have a friend who that happened to. She was trying to go from relaxed to natural, and so she cut her hair off, and the guy she was dealing with at the time couldn't handle it. So
She did the big chop.
yeah,
She ain't even talked to him about it.
I don't know. And
Okay,
that was so long ago. I don't. She may have told me, and I just don't remember. But I don't know.
so I can remember my ex-wife doing the big chop, but she didn't go natural. She just went like Halle Berry 90s bob. And I acted a complete ass. I used to be an asshole back in the day. And I look back on it, and her hair looked nice. It really did. It looked nice. It looked good on her too. I can
Okay.
admit that. I can admit I was wrong, and I can admit I was an asshole. Um, what I've learned as I get older is that, whatever makes the woman comfortable in her skin, that's what you need to rock with. But if you get with somebody and you got a head full of hair, and the next day you show up with a TWA, that ain't, I don't think that's cool per se.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't think that's cool. Now, quiet note. Chicks who got like the short Jeanne hairstyle or whatever, typically, there's two things about chicks that rock them short hairstyles. Typically, they got a fat ass and they can go.
What do you mean they can go? Is that a sexual thing? What you
In,
mean?
in the bedroom, they get down. Because you got to have some confidence in you to be able to do that, in my personal
Yeah,
opinion, as a
yeah,
woman. Because a
yeah,
lot of women hold their hair as what, their beauty or what have you, right? Some women don't give a damn. They be like, it's just hair. I'll cut it off, color it, do whatever, right? But some women, it's like very, very important to them. And just doing a wholesale switch, especially since a lot of guys aren't that sophisticated. I'll generalize it that way. A lot of dudes ain't that sophisticated. And when it comes to like how a woman feels about herself and what makes
hmm
her feel good and how that benefits you, that's a big ass risk is to cut your hair off and just show up like, ah.
I've done it before too, and I can say the guy that I was with at the time, he loved it.
But did you go so but like you go from looking like Lola Falana to a prison stud, that's a big switch, Doc.
First of all, I don't think I could ever look like a prison stud, even if I tried. But I mean, I did. I went to.
You should try that though. You should try it.
I don't want my hair that short. I mean, my hair that was the second time I cut my hair short, and it was pretty short. But yeah, yeah, but the guy I was with at the time, he loved it. So I don't know.
What about personality wise? Because to me, that's the bigger thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, when it comes to like size, body type, fate when you age or whatever, like you really got to be real with yourself because as they're aging, you're aging too.
Hmm.
So you up here trying to be like, oh, well, she don't look like she used to. I remember my uncle said that he married they ain't gonna listen to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. But he married a white lady and he had the nerve to tell my mom, like, man, I shouldn't marry this old white lady. She's starting to look old. My mom was like, no, you are not about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is not right. Your ass didn't gain weight. My mama read him the riot act
Yeah.
about that. But I will say, as you grow as people, personalities change, things that matter to you change. And
Hmm.
when people say they grow apart, that's like the main thing. Like I know in my past relationships, um, I may have changed as a person and they stayed what they were, who they were when we first got together. And those two versions of ourselves weren't compatible.
Hmm.
And then there were times where, okay, they would evolve and then we'd be back in sync. And then they would evolve some more and I was still stuck here. And then it ended up being like, okay, we're not compatible again. And
Hmm.
I can see how that happens and I can see how people grow apart. I think the hardest thing is people try to hold on to the relationship and they don't know how to communicate and be able to really express like why are you getting on my fucking nerves right now? Like
Yeah.
why are you react why does everything I do just cause you to flip the fuck out? And then either you are gonna power through it and then eventually y'all get back cool again, or y'all just be like, hey, this ain't working, I gotta go.